Good morning. Almost, if not booker, actually, almost good morning. So this will be yet another Microscopy examination of 4 slides. Pretty much the same setup from before, just little different, lightning. We're almost out of like EOS in wine. I cannot find the metal in blue, so I will use it very sparsely. From now on, I used 3 big containers, and supposedly, that's the more important one. Because it was relatively successful before, and the other 2, so I've taken 2 from this one and 1 from each of the big ones. Also, I placed some of the material from here. After it was burned, I've placed it here and added oil so it will be more liquid. And if it's like this one is actually successful, we'll continue according to the plan, which means delete the magnification arc and get back to the original setup to get a diversity of sizes, not just the big ones, in case we actually see big ones as we've seen like in the previous microscopic examination, and then we'll try to get a mix, hopefully so we have both big ones and small ones, and then continue with the Colosseum. As described before. We'll do it very quickly because just having to see if it's like as expected. So we'll start with the 2 that actually are for the ones that is like supposed to be more successful. They are more dense, I would say, and also colored, but perhaps not well. Let's just see. Just let the lens do the talking. It should be relatively quick and easy. ברגע אתם יכולים לשמוע את הסוף של השיר היפה, למישהו מזהה. שמענו את also listening to the origin story, like how it was like actually, how it was like סיפור התקבלות של הרומן. אז זה לא באמת התקבלות, זה סיפור איך זה הגיע לעולם. Okay, so 64 magnification, pretty standard, and let's see, what we have here. Just a second, okay. 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 So it's like the wrong direction. Okay, so this is the correct direction. So we do see neos. Let's just let's continue. See, just it's too oily. Too dense. Okay. We definitely see more of like a smaller ones. Maybe just they didn't have time to grow up because it wasn't like as rigorous as lighting as before. Maybe it's like worth like go to 150. I guess so. We don't see the really big ones. I would say perhaps just not enough time. I guess not enough energizing, or maybe just they they are kind of like hidden in the wax. But from what I see, it's pretty. These are kind of like after they're in the crucible. This is a very nice one. After they're in the crucible, they are many times they are kind of like stretched, like they are kind of like elastic. This is typical to the crucible work. That they kind of like And from that we learned that, and this is true, certainly, I can tell you from experience, it's true to neurons that are not that are completely, like operational, that, in the fire, sometimes it's not like, like a perfect ring, but kind of like, a contoured ring. This suggests that, the material is actually, or, the construction is actually elastic, which is interesting. I wasn't certain about it, but yes, it seems that the construction is elastic. It's not a great mixture. Maybe the construction wasn't the best. We do see Neros, but they are huge compared to what you know, but not like not as big as we've seen like previous previous. And I think just before, not enough energizing. It's probably that. Not enough energizing. It's kind of like a busri, like mixture that is not like yet. Many dads and many news that seems to be like growing but did not grow yet. This is interesting, like, place. You see quite a bit, even not like like what we've seen yesterday or the day before. Even though we see quite a bit, like it's like it's getting there with regards to diversity. Like it's getting there. Like it's like. We see like what I call like the Fontana de Trevi, because formation, which is kind of like tons of like coins in all sorts of colors in the liquid. It's kind of like it's an emerging Fontana de Trevi, but not quite there and not terribly big ones. This might have been this can be attributed just to luck. Not a terrible, slide, not a terrible slide, but not incredibly impressive. Okay, so let's just continue to the next one that was taken from the same container. Yes, while preparing that, I ran out of the Austin wine, and this is kind of like greatly kind of like hindered the construction of the slide with the cover. Hopefully we'll be able to focus and see something. Difficult to focus. So we do see, definitely do see. This is 64 modification. We do see Neros, not super impressive. Maybe just lack of time, or maybe improper, like a construction of the. I haven't לא השתפשפתי במיקרוסקופ, I haven't done like microscopy in quite a while because of all the wars and and I've done it not very well now. It's kind of like a craft that you should just get used to and then get back if you didn't do it for quite some time. There is an issue of the construction of the slides. It's not very well, but we do see the Fontana de Trevi, which is nice. Definitely we see the Fontana de Trevi, which means all sorts of stuff. Not terribly big ones, but it's like an emerging Fontana de Trevi, which is interesting. Let's go to 150. It's a nice one with the red belly. Of course, it's like from the color. It's what I'll do with this one. I think maybe just I'll burn it some more. That's what I mean. Just thing, like just I mean, it requires a little bit more. It's like a good. It's a good one. Like it's a. I mean, I'll keep the magnification arcs and just do a little bit more burning with this kind of specifically with that container. Even though it works much better when it's like not only one is lit. We do see bigger ones here. I mean, yeah, it's like not huge ones, but bigger than we've seen, like in the day before, 2 days before. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it gets the magnification, properties, like the required property of the magnification. It does get it. I mean, but it seems to me that it didn't have enough time. So now we see bigger ones here. With regards to quantity, I mean, it's like we're getting there. I mean, we're getting there. It's always kind of like like a bad. I mean, it's not something that I've done like very successfully like in the past, like like to create like the. This is a big one and fat one. Like to create a big. I mean, this was challenge in the past as well. Like it's not a new challenge. But just, I mean, the interesting now, I mean, saying it's the first time that it's really important for me, for the purpose of this specific, Colosseum thing, which is new thing, to actually, get this diversity. But the issue of diversity, like, I mean, that you either get, a huge assortment of, like, small coins or, like, several huge ones. And, I mean, because again, I mean, it was demonstrated that, like, the energy is needed to get, like, one, like, in the 9 class of the microscopics. It's like a billion ones, like of number 4, number 5. It's not like it's like even more than exponential, like in the power of 10. So this was like an issue in the past as well. That I mean, you need to kind of like choose between several kind of like consistencies of the fleet. It's not like a new thing. This channel, it was discussed in the past. Of course, better conditions and better equipment would make all of that much easier. But that's that's the way it is. Maybe before we end with that slide, maybe let's go for like maximum magnification for at least without the pulling lens. So this is 600. Difficulty focus. Okay, seems fine. I guess so. I'm not too keen on too much getting into it right now. So the lesson is that it requires more fire. I mean, it was like much less than we've had like in the previous like thing that was like burned for much longer. So but yeah, more we need more energy, more time on the cooking. Of course, it's not like burning continuously. The problem is that I ran out of oil actually. So I need to buy some new oil, do it in the morning because I'm just out of oil, but still have a little bit of money. I'll use it for the oil. And without oil, not much fire can be done. So maybe we cannot continue this today. Probably no. Probably it will be the last microscopic examination for that night because, I'll need oil anyway. And I'm out of oil. No, that's it. It was the last battle. So it will be the last one. But as soon as I know, like morning, like first thing in the morning or after I wake up, I'll just go, go to the groceries to buy some oil because isn't much to do without it. But what we can do actually is just prepare, the monsters if we have energy for that. Which because we don't need oil or burning for that. It's just finding the correct cultures and watch it under the microscope and maybe prepare the petri dish, which is not trivial. So maybe that's what I'll do if I'll have energy for that. We still have 2 more slides. These were prepared from the other 2 relatively big containers, and they were kind of like but without AOC and Y, which we are pretty much done, and also much less kind of like much less material. I would say it's like it's spread very thin, very thin. and without like the water of the ocean Y. Hopefully, I mean, we'll be able to get something from that. Even though there isn't much material, but maybe. It's kind of like it's because of this one is much, and these two are much less oily. It's like difficult to find them because they're like hiding in this kind of like like a weird map, like geographic map. You don't see much here. It's just too waxy, no oil, and they need oil to survive. These creatures. Yes, they do survive, in the seminal fluid or in pee, but not for that long. I mean. Okay, so far from impressive by any standard. Even though they might be hiding, like metal and blue would have been very helpful actually in such occasions, I don't know where is it. This is like just for such things, metal and blue would be very helpful. But we do see Neo, they're just like hiding. Difficult to focus. We just see a little bit. Okay, so last one, the same type, like from very waxy, not much oil left, not much liquid, and also thin layer, but from the third container. And after that, we are done for until we have more oil. We are pretty much done. Maybe a hunt for some kind of like bacterial disgusting things. We'll see about it. Not only bacterial, but also kind of like other life forms that we have that are not microscopic. That's why we need the petri dish actually, so they can be not run away. And just leave the microscope. So it's about the same. It's spread very thin on one end, but very waxy, not good enough. So we're going to concentrate on the good one that is like always they add oil in it without like drying or just the one that that was always a very relatively rich in oil. We will concentrate on that one, and we will just light it like for longer duration using the same symbology with the purpose of again creating like a bigger fleet of huge ones, or very big ones like we've seen before, and then we will switch back to the normal kind of like construction to allow more diversity. I would say just so it's like התקדמות לא מאוד מרשימה, אבל that's it mostly that's the way it is. You don't get like not every sample is like Nobel winning something. I do not I just take the the videos on the first glance of the slide. I don't filter it. I watch it with you for the first time, for any even slide, except for several, just in the beginning, in the first couple of months it was different, but since, maybe the several 4 months, that's the way that I do it. So, sometimes it's just small steps, and, but it's healthy. It's like, I consider it healthy, advancement. I don't think there is one video of the many hundreds of scientific videos that we have in this channel that is that you must see, not even one. Not with regard to theory or to the apparatus building, construction, or to microscopic examinations. There are many amazing ones and some boring ones, but there is nothing that is that you have to actually watch. which is good from my perspective. Like, I try to consider it, like, to attribute it to kind of like a healthy advancement. That there was no one, huge kind of like, פוקס כזה שהגיע משום מקום. No, it's like, it's a systematic advancement, and we did advance. Like, we have a little bit of, inputs, not huge ones, and we have like a, clear path to how to continue. Again, created a diverse fleet, and I should say again, it's not a new objective. It's not like a new discussion in this channel. Like, I have had all this kind of like, I wouldn't say problem, but I would say questions in the past, but usually just, it wasn't important enough like to mostly to dwell on that. And now I specifically want, like, to have a fleet of like the diverse sizes. So that's why it's important, like, for us to get exactly of the, the material that we want before we put, we send it to the Colosseum. Okay, so this will be all for now. Probably, another microscopic examination only tomorrow. Of course, if God, allow us, if we have the energy and merits, ולא יתעללו בנו כל מיני, all sorts of psychopaths. So, good night for now.